Further discussion?
I'll just add that
I shouldn't say further discussion, more discussion.
I'll just add that I think I mentioned this at our last meeting, that this came at the request of the MSBA. If there was any municipality or school district that had a statement of interest that was not presently acted on, if they wanted to renew, that we needed to do so. So that's where this is coming from, and also would allow us at some point in time to possibly incorporate what is now a high school building project into some sort of rehab or joint project, or maybe a new middle school, if we renew this statement of interest pertaining specifically to the middle school. So that's where this comes from.
Mr. Yule.
Yes. I mean, this is good news. I think at the beginning of the process for the high school, we weren't sure whether we were going to be able to go in this direction. But by putting it, we're just getting permission to ask to have the middle school considered. Is that correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
I just want to caution you that, no, I wouldn't agree with that. Some time ago, the community put in a statement of interest for the high school project and the middle school project. What was accepted by the MSBA at this point is a statement of interest pertaining to the high school project. We are not alone. There were other communities that had other statements of interest for other projects that were not yet accepted. And the MSBA just asked that if there's still a desire to move forward with any of those projects, to renew those statements of interest. Right. So this does not mean that the middle school will be part of the project that's, at this point, we've retained project management.
I understand that. I guess that's important to understand, but the fact that the state asked us to renew our interest is, to me, a positive aspect.
I would agree with that.
Other discussion? Mr. Prisco.
Mr. Chairman, I resolve that having convened an open meeting on January 3, 2011, the Board of Selectmen of North Reading, in accordance with its charter and bylaws, has voted to authorize the Superintendent of Schools to submit to the Massachusetts School Board Authority the Statement of Interest for North Reading Middle School located in 19 Sherman Road, North Reading, Mass., which describes and explains the following deficiencies in the priority category for which North Reading may be invited to apply to the Massachusetts School Building Authority in the future. The following priorities have been included in the Statement of Interest for North Reading Middle School: replacement or renovation of a building which is structurally unsound or otherwise in a condition seriously jeopardizing the health and safety of school students where no alternative exists. Elimination of existing severe overcrowding. Prevention of severe overcrowding expected to result in increased enrollments. Replacement, renovation, or modernization of the heating system in a school house to increase energy conservation and decrease energy-related cost. Replacement of or additions to obsolete buildings in order to provide a full range of programs consistent with the state and approval local requirements. And hereby further specifically acknowledges that by submitting this statement of interest, the Massachusetts School Building Authority in no way guarantees the acceptance or approval of an application, the award of a grant, or any other funding commitment for the Massachusetts School Board Authority, or commitments to the town of North Reading to filing an application for funding with the Massachusetts School Board Authority.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Prisco, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. You know, I have a problem with the first reason for replacement of the school. I find it hard to believe that the school is either structurally unsound or otherwise in a condition seriously jeopardizing the health and safety of our school students. Now, I realize that, you know, this is a request or a statement of interest, but that seems to be stating that we have kids in a school building that's unsafe. And I don't believe that's the case. Where did this language come from, Greg?
This was originally the language that was voted by the board back in 2008.
Mhm.
And it does come from a boilerplate document that the Massachusetts School Building Authority
Yeah,
does
I
have.
understand that.
Well, I mean, Bob, I would have to say that I would be surprised that someone would throw this in writing if it really wasn't true. I mean, there's probably some details we don't have. Maybe, Sean, you can elaborate, being on the secondary school board committee, but I've been
think it's-
around that building quite a bit, and I can see some things, at least in my eyes, that don't look very sound to me.
I think it's more aligned with what Mr. Balakonis had indicated, that it's simply a document prepared by MSBA, that if we want to move forward and renew our statement of interest, this is the language that was adopted initially, and probably have to adopt it again. I see what the chairman's saying, that we're signing off on something that seems to suggest that we're putting kids in a building that's jeopardizing their health and their safety, which I concur is not true, although the building is in dire need of repair or replacement. But
Well,
I think it's another,
I'm not saying, I don't think it says that, right? It doesn't say or otherwise? In a condition seriously jeopardizing the health and safety of the student.
Well, right, I saw the or, but it says otherwise, in a condition seriously jeopardizing the health and safety of schools,
I see what you're saying.
students. It just,
I think you can parcel
yeah,
out
and
that
I'm sure
the
that I
phrase and
voted
the
for
or.
it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think that's the distinction.
Right. They probably said it for the high school too, you know, back when it was written. I'm just bringing up, it seems like it's, there should be a better way of describing the fact that the building needs to be rehabbed or replaced.
I see what you're saying. You
Without-
don't want to send a message out to the community to get the
Well,
kids out of
I
that
mean,
school because it's
I think
unsound.
any of us felt that we were seriously jeopardizing our students by putting them in the building, would have them out of there.
They definitely need some work,
I
though.
think what Bob is saying, the chair is saying, is that it is correct. We're going on record saying that the school's not safe.
So are you making a recommendation to modify the motion to remove the bullet or modify the bullet?
I wouldn't-
No, I
I
don't
wouldn't
think we-
modify
do
it.
it.
I wouldn't either. I mean, I wouldn't
Well,
agree
we
on it.
modify
I'm
one.
just making a point that if this is boilerplate that gets this into the queue, fine, but
It's one of
by
those
all
state,
means,
the state requirements that we have to follow, unfortunately. We have quite a few of
There's
those.
no doubt that the infrastructure itself within the building is obsolete, whether it be the wiring system, heating system, and all the rest. So, I mean, does it render it to the point where it's jeopardizing the health and safety? Not yet, because we spend a considerable amount of money on maintenance and upkeep annually in order to maintain it, but it's not cost effective, so. While I find the wording somewhat offensive, I'm voting for it.
on the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next item on our agenda is appointments. Prisco.
Jeff may
Oh,
want to take this one.
Jeffrey.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I move to place in nomination the following names for appointment, reappointment, I should say, as members of the Energy Study Ad Hoc Committee for terms to expire on December 31, 2011. Total of 10 openings. I believe that there'll be one more after this. Joseph Balecki, Reading Municipal Light Department. Mark Manzelli, 62 Central Street. Daniel McInnes, 3 Surrey Lane. They're all incumbents.
Welcome.
Wait 1 second.
Further discussion?
No, I'll second it.
Okay.
Motion by Mr. Yule, second by
I just had a
Mr.
question.
Prisco.
So Joseph, he work for the Reading Municipal Light Department?
That's correct.
Okay. But he's not a resident in town?
No, I don't know. I don't believe he is.
Yeah.
but,
Okay.
He's the,
I think when we set it up, we asked for someone from Reading Municipal Light to
Oh, it makes
participate in the, he got volunteered.
Does he know his name?
Actually, I think he's been a
Hats
willing
of some of the money.
volunteer.
Thank you.
You know, again, on...
Further discussion, Jeffrey?
On the point of further discussion, I've mentioned this before, that this is a group of individuals that strive hard to save community money as best as they can by looking at as many cost-saving areas that they can for in the area of energy. It's a joy to work with them, and it's a joy to see how well intended they are.
I will waive the need for, there were 10 openings.
There are 10 openings. I
That's,
received-
if
We've
these
already-
appointments are made, there'll be 7 openings, is that how I read this?
We've already made some.
No, we've done some before. I forget, I think we just need one more, and I'm waiting for John's to come in. In fact, I think it came in, I received an email from Karen. But,
Okay, so there's only one
I
more
believe there's
opening
only-
after these
I believe there's
three.
only one opening after
Okay.
this.
Sounds right.
Okay, on the motion, I'll waive the roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? We have appointments to the Veterans Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move to place in nomination the following names for appointment as members of the Veterans Committee for the following terms. 3-year term expiring 12/31/2013. David K. Peoples, 85 Central Street. 2-year term expires 12/31/2012. Neil E. Rooney, 3rd, 13 Pomeroy Road.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Prisco, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Discussion? We're building this committee
Well-
from the ground up.
We are, because a lot of members now are becoming associate members, and they're bringing in, yes, this is a brand-new committee from the ground up, that's correct. And a lot of them that were on the memorial are going to become associate members on this
How
committee as
many
well.
members do we have now? I've kind of lost track.
This is,
losing
for this
my voice.
Veterans Committee? This
Yes.
is, I believe, now 5,
5.
and we have another associate member coming up.
Okay. On the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Bless you.
Veterans Committee Associate Member.
Mr. Chairman, I move to place in nomination the following name for appointment as an associate member of the Veterans Committee for a term to expire December 31st, 2013.
Bless you.
Bless you. Kenneth Ravioli, 7 Kings Road.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Prisco, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
I know that some people at home are having a hard time with the audio, so if it's me you can't hear, I'll try to bring the microphone a little closer to me. And then maybe as you're speaking, you can bring the mic closer to yourselves. I got a text from my wife saying the audio's not very good, so. Listen, I don't want to get in trouble when I get home. So speak up, everybody.
I'm a little cold, so I'm
No
not speaking
problem.
very loudly tonight. Okay. Town Administrator's Report?
Good evening again. If you refer to the report that's in your packet labeled number 10, the work on the fiscal year 2010 audit for the year ending on June 30th, 2010 commenced just before the Christmas holiday. The audit is expected to be completed sometime in March, and that will, once the report is drafted up, will be forwarded to the board, and you'll have an opportunity to meet with Richard Hingston, who is the CPA who's performed the audit for the town for a number of years in the spring. And as part of that, you'll have a discussion over the town's finances and the management there. So we don't have any results right now. There's no information to share to the board, but just be aware of the fact that that work is ongoing. All of the departments are cooperating with the auditor. Typically what the auditor does, in addition to undertaking a reconciliation of the town's accounts, is they do a number of tests